What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Elks Call with the Elks Herd. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Do Even Elks.
And today we're just waiting on our special guest. Jake Taylor is supposed to be on the show right now. However, things are happening on his end. So we hope he's doing all right. And we also hope we see him on the show. First off, sorry for being late. Obviously, we wanted to try to get Jake on here before we went live. So we apologize for being a little bit late here. But this is the season finale of the Elks Call. So no matter what, this is a massive episode for us. What episode are we on?
24.
24. So
Yeah.
24 episodes with you fine folks listening to us, watching on Shotgun Sports Network, tune in, listening on Edmonton Sports Talk, all of it. We're extremely thankful for having you, the viewers, along for the ride with us. So, yeah, big, important episode today. So, for today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at some of our favorite games in 2023, right? There's quite a few games that we can look at. There's some crying that happened. There was some really big upsets. There's there it was a jam-packed season. However, it still ended up being a 14-4 season, right? So we're gonna pick out some of the greatest moments from the season. And then on top of that, we're gonna look at the recent transactions. We know that there was a transaction or two that happened. Yeah.
Yep.
And then after that, we're gonna open up the fan forum. So we're gonna be talking about Christmas, our Christmas. We have a Christmas topic for everybody. So if we could just get a little scroll there. So we're gonna do the fan forum, and then after that, we're gonna do an Edmonton sports update, and then we may not have an interview. So maybe either you guys can interview us, or we can just grill Catherine on
yeah, we'll just
on her
wing it.
sports knowledge.
Which is not, I mean, still getting there. Still learning lots, you know. There's still times that it catches me off guard and I turn around to Scout and I'm like, is that a thing? Like, where did that happen? Like when he talked about the kicking trick place, and ever since then I'm like, I want to see one. I haven't seen one. You know, things like that. But yeah, before we get into our favorite games though, I did want to bring up nice little story that we came across just a couple of days ago. If you guys, we've had him here before, St. John Sperling from Custom
Cleats of Strength.
What's his
Momentum Customs.
Momentum Customs.
Shout out to St. John.
He partnered up with the Edmonton Elks to create this program called the Cleats of Strength, which is essentially partnering up kids from the Stollery with players to create custom cleats and auction them off so that they can, you know, all of the proceeds pretty much go to the Stollery and the programs and the services that they offer. So we saw this story about the Stollery kid Jays that he partnered up with Aaron Grimes. You know, unfortunately, due to the injury, Aaron Grimes wasn't able to wear the pair for the, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Hop off to the Edmonton Elks groups, the Twitter, the Instagrams, and you'll be able to see the cleats. But they're absolutely beautiful, and they were auctioned off last week at the annual Snowflake Gala. So, you know, they raised over $10,000 for the Stollery Children's Hospital that night with those cleats, which is absolutely amazing. And we actually heard from Whitney, Jace's mom, just talking about how special that whole new relationship between Aaron Grimes and Jace is. And it's absolutely beautiful. You know, she was telling us a little bit. We asked her a little bit about you know, what the best part of that whole experience was, and she told us that, you know, unfortunately Jace is having a little bit of a rough time with some procedures and just some testing that he has. But Aaron Grimes is always the first person that knows about his recovery. If he has a treatment and he comes out of it, the first person that he messages is Aaron Grimes. And Aaron has essentially become his best friend. They
Yeah.
are team A's that they call it, putting together Aaron and Jace. And that just goes to show how absolutely what the Edmonton Elks as a whole has done outside of just a team. Creating
Yeah.
initiatives like the Cleats of Strength, raising over $10,000. It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful story. Go take a look at their Moment Customs Instagram and their
Yep.
Facebook group. Check out some of the work, check out some of the cleats that they've done, and yeah, just support the cause.
Well, and you know what? Shout out. Hello, Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Our good friends, Ray and Benny over there. Elks Riders Bombers are tops in community engagement. And that's really interesting because
Hmm.
community owned teams for now. But what's really interesting about that is they are actually doing that and putting everybody, the rest of the league, on notice with how much they're actually giving back to those communities. It's absolutely beautiful and
Now that raises a question. Now that
nice.
we are looking at private ownership, no longer a community owned team, do you think that a lot of these initiatives will be canned? Do you
Hmm.
think that we are no longer going to see a lot of the community involvement and engagement that we have seen, especially in the past year? I feel like they've really upped their their
Yeah,
game when it comes to community engagement.
that is a really
And
good question, and I mean, I would say that since Victor Cui has been in, he
mhm.
did a lot for the community engagement piece, the community piece in general, getting U of A Golden Bears involved, getting some of these other lesser known organizations or schools into Commonwealth Stadium in general, and then of course getting the players out into the community. So, and they've done that really well. Herd chat, anybody that's watching right now, what do you think? If the team, like let's say a community owned team, goes to private ownership, will you see a would you see a shortage or would you see less community engagement?
Ah, I don't know.
That's
It's hard to say.
interesting.
It's hard to say because I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I can't say who's the one in charge of these initiatives and who pushed them through, but
Right, right.
hopefully that doesn't get lost. I mean, they're doing beautiful work out there.
Oh, totally. And the Cleats of Strength program this year did so much for these kids. Sinjin, genuinely an amazing guy, doing a great deed, mocking up these customs, making beautiful cleats, and then in turn the community as well. The community bidding high on these items and putting that money to the stollery. It was an absolutely beautiful program. I hope they do more of that. And once again, we talked about this before. James Wilder Jr. kind of
Hmm.
was the pioneer of this, another
Hmm.
big community guy. Unfortunately, he got injured and he did everything he could to, try to regain his position.
Yeah.
Could never really get there, and unfortunately, business happens. But
Hmm.
one of the brightest spots on the team in a dark spot was James Wilder Jr. with his involvement. So it's great to see like community heroes that are born from the
Definitely.
Edmonton
And
Elks.
you see a lot of players too that really embrace that whole community aspect, and
Yeah.
they really put themselves out there, talking to the kids after every single game, going to events, going to the family day events, and signing autographs and just being available for young kids, because we heard it before with Jamin when he was here.
Yep.
The future of
Yep.
football is the new generation,
The
is the kids, the
grassroots.
grassroots, right? So it's got to start from somewhere. And yeah.
Edmonton has too much of a grassroots relationship established would be a huge mistake, especially when trying to bring fans to back to Commonwealth. Um, so I'll direct everybody's attention over to Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Garrick Jones was just on their show. Fantastic conversation.
Mhm.
And Garrick Jones is part of an athlete, like an athlete ownership group, really
Right.
an athlete ownership group where they are trying to buy the Edmonton Elks and bring glory back
Mhm.
to the green and gold from an
Mhm.
ownership group that truly cares. Why? Because they bled green and gold
Yes.
in the uniform on the turf. Fantastic idea. Great conversation over at Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Please, everybody, go check them out. Go find them on YouTube. Give them a subscribe. While we're talking about subscriptions, we're still on a drive to 500. At this rate, I don't know if we're giving away a double E jersey.
Maybe
Um,
next year.
well, maybe next year, but next year could be next month,
Oh.
realistically. So,
Forgot about
yeah.
that.
So everybody, while you're listening, Shotgun Sports Network Ltd at Shotgun Sports Network Ltd on
Yes.
YouTube. Please go find us. Go hit subscribe. Ryan Messer up here on
Mhm.
the topic of community engagement. I don't see a change in that. Community engagement is a major business decision. It is a tax write off and it brings positive publicity to the organization. No brainer. Very
Yes.
good point, because you see teams such as the Edmonton Oilers with their charity foundation, they
Mhm.
do amazing things in the community. Obviously, they make a lot of money over there. They distribute it to the less fortunate and the Stollery
Yeah.
and Ronald McDonald House and all of these charities, like organizations should be, really. A
Mhm.
little bit of philanthropy goes a long way. Tracy Ham and Eggs, happy holidays to you too, Tracy Ham and Eggs. Garrick loves Edmonton. Damon Allen seems pretty excited about it. Yes, Ray and Betty talk sports.
Yes.
So Garrett, yeah, exactly. They got Damon Allen on
You
that
know,
committee.
you know what? I think that would be best case scenario
Yeah,
for private ownership if they go to athlete, owned team. Really, it's like you say, they know they have bled green and gold. They know exactly what needs to be done to um, bring glory to the new days. And really, there's something to say for what's the word that I'm looking for? Your interest, right? At the best interest of the fans and the team. If you have a larger ownership group of CEOs and businessmen that really truly only have the best interest of making more money, then things like community engagement will suffer. You
yeah,
will see prices go up, you will see concessions go up, and it's going to be a big, big change. I mean, we saw that with Rogers when it came to Edmonton a little bit, that there was a different structure in the way that things were done, which
yeah,
is understandable because it's just who owns the team.
yeah,
That being said, this is taking it away from sports, but way away from sports. But one of the recent news out there is this group, and I saw it in Sherwood Park, and it was a pharmacist owned pharmacy,
interesting.
right? And that just it's that kind of sense that when you have been in it and then suddenly you work with the community and have the best interests of the people and the fans, and that's something to say. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Former alumni owned Edmonton Elks, that'd be great.
Well, and really, what did I say on that city news feature? Our good friend Adam over at City News,
Mhm.
he interviewed me and asked, what do you want to see in an ownership group? The fans just want to see an ownership group that cares. You're not going to find a bigger group of people, or a better group of people, anyways, a better group
Mhm.
of people that care about this team than players that used to play for this team.
Mhm.
It's alumni. Even Dave Jameson, you can hear it in his voice and see it on his face.
You can picture it.
He loves the green and gold. He loves the
Mhm.
Edmonton Elks, as we say. It's the first word that means the most, Edmonton. So now, speaking of Edmonton, 2024 is going to be coming up. John Kirby in the herd chat, blowing it up. Question: who do you think our season home opener opponent will be? Very good question. Traditionally, I believe that we've seen Edmonton Elks versus or Eskimos then versus Red Blacks. I've seen that as an opener. I think we've seen Winnipeg. Who was it this year that was our opener? What was
Can't
that?
remember. Jesus, I'm bad with that.
It wasn't
Okay,
BC.
so traditionally, who decides? What decides the schedule? Is it a lottery? Is it let's just pick some names over here and see who goes first, or like who decides
Well,
what that looks like?
the CFL does one of the
Hmm.
biggest matchups will be the season opener between the defending Grey Cup champ and the runner up.
Hmm.
So they do the Grey Cup rematch
Right.
for the season opener. They didn't do that this year.
Hmm.
They did not do that. So that was very, very interesting.
Is it just yeah? I don't know. I really don't know who. I mean, Tracy Hamanak's here.
I think it was
He
the
thinks that it was
Riders.
the
Yes.
Riders.
Yeah, it was Saskatchewan because that was the biggest game, June 11th.
Right.
Yes, it was Saskatchewan Roughriders, June 11th. And we absolutely flopped. It was a really rough game. So yeah. I don't think we will be squaring off against the Riders for our first game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no clue.
I don't know why. In my head, I was just Hamilton.
You know what? That's very interesting. I was also going to say that's the one team that I thought that we were going to square off against.
Yeah.
And the reason
Same.
why I say that is because of the Trey Ford hype. They
Mm.
may do that for the Trey Ford hype. A bit of that connection. It also depends on what the other stadium schedules are as well.
Yeah.
So if there's events that are happening at Commonwealth Stadium at around that time, we can even have our home opener delayed by 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
So it will be very, very interesting to see. I want our home opener to be the Atlantic Schooners. Comment of the day so far.
I love that.
Ray and Benny, it feels like CFL schedule makers get drunk and throw
Yeah.
darts.
You know what?
Clown show. Love it.
That's what I was gonna say. What I picture is just a whole bunch of grown ass men, older men, just sitting in a room with a board, kind of like fantasy style, right? And being like, okay, who's gonna go over there?
Yeah.
you know.
I want this one. Oh no, I ended up getting another Thursday night. Shoot.
It's like, ah, dang. I don't know how that happens, but either way, hopefully the schedule is out first. I know John has mentioned it in social media that it was a couple of days
Today.
ago or something. Today,
Yeah, well,
that's
yeah.
last year
Yep,
that the
last year today.
schedule was out. So hopefully we see it here right away because we need to start planning.
Well, exactly. We talked about this, I believe, last episode
Mhm.
or the episode before. We all have lives. We all kind of build our lives around the CFL schedule. We're already getting close to January. It's already 2024, right around the corner.
Yeah, I need to plan my weekends. I need to,
Now, I got a question. What games are worse? I think I already know the answer. What game would you rather go to? Let's do this because if you're gonna pick between Thursday and Sunday, I know that everybody's saying that Thursday is worse.
Yes.
Everybody, but the Thursday games are an absolute drag. I think we know that.
I mean, Sunday games would be bad if they were at like 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't usually see that. If there's a
No.
Sunday game, the latest that you'll see it is 5 p.m., which, you still have the chance to go home and kind of relax a little bit before getting ready for Monday. But a Thursday night, which is usually at 7 p.m., you're not home until like 10:30. It just feels like at that point you should just take the Friday off because what is the point?
Well, yeah.
It's
Now on a Sunday though, you can make the exact same argument.
no, but like that my argument is the time.
Yeah.
Say if you can't have a Thursday 5 p.m. game because people might not make it. People are still at work. They're not gonna rush out of work to go feed their kids and then
No.
still make it to the game. So they have to make it in the evening at
Yeah.
7 p.m. Sundays, you won't see a 7 p.m. Sunday game. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's usually earlier in the
5
day,
p.m.
2
It's usually at
p.m.,
5 p.m.
5 p.m., and that's not bad. So my issue is the time. Thursday night, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and Tracy Ham and Eggs made a very good point. I take my 10-year-old, so earlier games are
Mhm.
better for me. Yeah, and earlier games, the 5 p.m. games are really good. That's kind of where we want to be. 5 p.m. games are good. I also like a 2 p.m. matinee. I love
Oh,
2
for
p.m.
sure.
games. You get the rest of your night after, and it's
you get the and you get the chance to go home and sober up.
or celebrate a little bit more depending on what year edition of the Double E we're talking about. But
Probably no, but no, those 2 p.m. games were great. I mean, we always had a grand time. I think the last time that we did, uh we had a breakfast tailgate, right? We did breakfast sandwiches.
yeah, so and speaking of tailgate, we're gonna mention this in the Edmonton sports update. But this weekend, this weekend, no, next week, no, it's
Yeah,
this
it
weekend.
is
It's this
this
week. It's
weekend.
this
Yeah,
weekend. It's this weekend. The
yeah.
17th. I don't know why I keep on screwing up this date, but the 17th, 3 to 5 p.m. I got the times right. There's going to be a tailgate down at Lot A, and we won't be able to cook, but we're all going to hang out and get that warm, fuzzy feeling of being with our Double E fans. So,
Definitely, it's
Edmonton
supposed to
Elks
be a
fans,
nice
yeah.
weekend. So I mean, it's not like
Well, we just had +9 today in the city of Edmonton, +9 in the middle of December. It is the
just
most unseasonal weather
crazy,
we've ever had.
crazy.
Yes, and John, yes, we do have that coming. The Edmonton Sports Update, of course, we're talking Oil Kings. What is BC doing to accommodate families? Oh, that's what BC is doing. They're accommodating families with early games on weekends. They had more 2 p.m. games. Why can't we do that? The reason, once again, is our stadium scheduling, and then, of course, the CFL, and I want to
Right.
say TSN also has a bit of a say in it because TSN has a lot of other programming.
Mhm.
They're almost like ESPN with 8 channels or 11 channels or 12 channels or whatever. We have TSN with 5 channels. Sure, they slot in stuff wherever they like, but depending on if they have another game in the afternoon that they want to do, or if there's an event, or if somebody has to move in a concert into a building, there's so many factors that determine that schedule. BC realistically has very little say, and this is something that Victor Cui had mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
On scheduling, the team has very little to no say. So this is all stuff that comes from the CFL in conjunction with the stadiums. Mother Nature is drunk. Yes, with this +9 weather, yes, Mother Nature is drunk. That was too
I
good
mean,
not to read immediately.
I'll take a drunk and Mother Nature over, a cold, frigid
Yeah,
witch.
yeah,
I'll leave it at
no, exactly.
that.
And if you're
That's
just
funny.
tuning in, just to let you know, obviously everything says interview with Jake Taylor. Unfortunately, he's not able to make it at this time. We're hoping that he shows up before the end of the episode
We're
because
hoping.
we got a good interview. If not, we'll obviously have Jake Taylor on the episode again. So
If not, you get stuck with
you get
us.
stuck with
No
us,
worries.
which is perfectly fine. Favorite game, everybody. Let's talk about our favorite game. Now we do know that there is a Winnipeg fan or two in the chat. Tell
Those
us
don't
about
count.
your favorite game, even if it was against the Edmonton Elks.
Oh.
Um, which I would say my favorite Edmonton Elks and Winnipeg game was that one where we almost won, and I tweeted a holy, you know what? That was
And
a
then we
wild game,
lost.
and then we lost. We were ahead by like 22 to start, and then I went.
And then we had the worst upset in the world.
Which one?
Was it that one? That we were ahead by like 22
Oh
points,
yeah,
and then it
yeah.
just
No,
completely
we
we
started
completely flopped.
immediately. We started with 3 touchdowns, two or three touchdowns, and then I went. So
Yeah,
very
no, I would
disappointing.
say that for me, my favorite game was, of course, that August. Was it August? Faithful August night
Oh, oh
against
the
the Ottawa Red Blacks,
oh
and it was
yes,
our first home win after 22 home games. I think that's what it was. Something like that. And the reason why, I mean, it's going to sound cliche, but because I've mentioned it before, but that was truly my first home win. I had never seen a home win in the couple of years that I have now been going to Edmonton Elks games. So it was a very different experience for me because I didn't know what to expect. Right, I all I've known
yeah,
is disappointment. All I've known is just the regular sounds of the stadium that you just hear. I mean, it's always the same story when you walk away out of there, right? People are complaining, people are disappointed, they're swearing, they're throwing things, nobody's happy. And I remember turning around. and just seeing like, holy, I have never heard this place so loud. And yeah, it was a very different experience. So that was really nice to see. I mean, this guy was crying. People were crying.
Well, and so
So-
to put this into perspective for our viewers as well, the Edmonton Elks, Eskimos at the time, 2019, defeated the BC Lions. Mike Riley went down. Danny O'Brien came in, and it was a beautiful October night, and we won. And I think that was our last win. That was the last game of the season for us before we went to playoffs. Trevor Harris was our quarterback at the time, and I was there at that game. 2021, 2020 we had nothing. 2021 we came back. We got made it back into the stadium. You were there,
yeah,
right,
I was
for the
there for
very
those.
first game back
Yes.
with Clint, with
Mm-hmm.
our friend in Section X, and that it like you had been back in the bit, like you were there for the first home loss in a row, and then you made it all the way to the end, and
Yeah.
you were at, I would say, around 80 to 90% of those games in the 22 game home losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. So
Yeah. Well, I guess
you had to deal with over 20 games, or like 18 to 20 games where you watched those
it was
in
22.
person.
22. I looked it up.
No, but what you
Oh,
went
did
to,
I tell?
actually went to,
Yes.
because I went with Kyle
Yes.
Hibbets and I went with other
Very
people. So
true.
you went to like somewhere between
Yeah.
18 and 22 games.
Very true. I experienced a lot of losses.
Yeah.
A lot of losses. So yeah, it was a wild experience. I mean, it was completely different. So I will remember that one for sure. That was definitely my favorite. And it's mostly because I didn't know better. I didn't know what to expect. When we were about to win, I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like, what do I do? What do we
Yeah.
do in this situation? What do we do when we win? You
Well,
know?
and after so many years of me walking into through gate 9, gate 13 for life, walking in through gate 13 and being so cocky about the Edmonton Eskimos, being so great. And then 2021 rolls around. And that first season that you go winless, you're like, what what just happened? What just happened? I remember how upset I was.
Oh,
I think
I
we went to
know.
the bar after,
Oh,
and
I
I
know.
sat there and we were with
Oh,
our friends and I just sulked at a table.
yeah, I know. We were having a good time. We were dancing, and this guy's just sitting over there at the table, just like this.
Well, yeah, and I got some free shots out of blowing my horn and the siren going off and everything else, and that was all right, sure. But then the second year in a row,
Yeah.
like you didn't even think that it was possible to go winless at home
Well,
for one season.
that's when everybody started making like what was it? Was it the team? Is it because it's a new team? They were looking for excuses, like constant
Yeah.
roll of excuses of why, new president, new this, it's the name change, is this and that, right? Because you always have to look for somebody to blame when you're going 2 seasons in a
Oh,
row with absolutely no home wins.
absolutely horrible.
So
In the herd chat, Ray and Benny, they loved that game because Drew Brown came in, Claros got injured, we lost our composure, everything fell apart.
I don't
So
know, like, I mean, and that's something to say. I figure that usually when something like that happens, with say Claros getting injured, it would have been the other way around, and we could have taken advantage of that and even performed better. And
yeah.
yet it went the other way.
Oh, look at that. And speaking of stadium stuff, Ryan Messer in here in the herd chat. They should go the Arthur Blank route, $2 sodas, hot dogs, hamburgers, $5 drafts. That will help
Oh
bring fans to
man.
the stands. The $5 menu, and Ryan Messer knows about this because he's close to Atlanta. Where is it? I believe it's Atlanta, where they have the killer deals. I want to say it's Atlanta, where they have a $5 menu.
Do we
And
have a $5?
we have at the Edmonton Stingers games, they have a
Right, the
$5 menu.
Edmonton Stingers,
The
they do.
Edmonton Elks do not have
Right.
a $5 menu.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen $2 anything
No,
anywhere.
no.
That's wild. Yeah, so
I mean, Edmonton Stingers have a $5 menu. I believe so.
There's yeah, I
They
think
like they
so. I
have a
think so. It
killer.
was I think it was just yeah, like pizza. You get a slice of pizza and like a drink or something like
Yeah.
that. But still, I mean, when you're going to a lot of these games with kids, and you know you already have to pay for the entrance fees, and then you're looking
Payment.
at $20 for each kid to get them a slice of pizza and a drink, and then suddenly it's a $300 deal.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. So, I mean, that'd be something. I mean, I really don't know how that would go. I don't know how you make something like that affordable at a stadium,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. See, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, home of the Falcons. There it is. Ryan Messer. Thank you so much. By the way, shout out to Ryan Messer, our guy down at Shotgun Sports USA. He just came out with Off the Reins podcast. His guest was from another Birmingham Stallions group, actually, but I believe the Facebook group, one of the biggest ones out there. So, really good podcast. Go check it out, everybody. It's actually on Shotgun Sports Network. So, if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually go see the latest podcast that's on the network. So,
yeah.
Off the Reins, brand new USFL Birmingham Stallions. Got a little code for you later on in the episode if you know anything about this show. So, okay, so you have one transaction we talked about Achampong last week.
Yeah, no, well, no, that actually happened the day after. The so
Oh, what was it?
yeah, that was right after episode. That was the day after that
Interesting.
we signed national defensive lineman Sam Achapong. And of course, we also signed American wide receiver Arlen Bruce the fourth.
The fourth. We're not going to get into the controversial side of this. Actually, you know what? We can because Jake Taylor is
Ah,
not on the show.
listen, yeah.
So Jake Taylor's not on the show. Generally, if we have a player on, we can't talk about controversial subjects due to us being amicable with the Edmonton Elks and not wanting to disrespect anything. However, quick little pre-fan forum here. Um, little quick pre-fan forum, and then we're gonna get into these comments in the herd chat. Yes, John Kirby, we will get to that one. We are in the works of that. We'll get into a couple more of these comments, but let's talk about this for a minute. Arlen Bruce the fourth. By the way, shout out to Arlen Bruce the third, who is friend of the herd, friend of the Elks herd, great guy. Also a good friend of G Roy because they used to play together. So his son, Arlen Bruce the fourth, was signed with
Hmm.
the Edmonton Elks. However, it was determined that he got suspended, or yeah, I believe he got suspended. He got some pretty heavy repercussions for betting on his own team. They didn't say what the bet was. They didn't say he was betting against his own team. So he
Hmm.
wasn't betting on his team to lose
Yeah,
and completely, you know, uh, rigging it or flopping,
right,
sandbagging, whatever the term is you want,
right.
fixing. I don't believe he was fixing, but he was
It
betting
was
on
just
his own team. So he got busted for that, and now we have. I'll do this. I don't like talking about other people's Twitter accounts. An account called Roar Report saying the Edmonton Elks need to fold now. That's garbage. I don't believe in that. You don't need to fold because you signed somebody in a second chance scenario. But what do you think? Like, is this actually a bad signing from the Edmonton Elks, or
I don't know. I don't know much about that. I
okay, okay?
really I wasn't aware of a lot of those. I mean, I kind of heard a little bit about it through Twitter X,
For
you
some,
know,
if you
just
want some context on
yeah.
this, like let's say with an NFL scenario, there was a player, a couple of players over the
Mhm.
years that have been suspended
Mhm.
for betting
Mhm.
on their team, or even then, I believe there was one or two instances of betting on their own team, but most of the time it's just betting on NFL in general,
Right.
which you're not allowed to do. There's very heavy NDAs with sports teams.
Mhm.
So in some cases you can't play fantasy, you can't do
Yeah.
certain things, even innocently, right? So with Arlen Bruce the fourth, it wasn't determined that he was betting against his own
Or
team.
four.
It said
Oh, okay.
betting on.
Okay.
So there's props, there's prop bets all within that. There's so
Right.
many things all within that.
Hmm.
description, right? Betting on. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that could be a little on the iffy side. I mean, what was it, that show? That show that we watch on Netflix? I think it was on Netflix, Untold,
Untold
right?
with
That with
Donahue. Yeah,
so
the Tim
many, like
Donahue.
all the basketball,
Yeah,
you know, scandals on betting and
yeah,
rigging the games and all of that, right? So I mean, not not to dramatize it or
uh,
anything like that, right? Like, who's to say that something like that wouldn't be happening? So I think it's smart to have NDAs and have regulatory statutes or whatever
right.
around betting for the teams that you play for or within the same team, right? Because there could be a lot of really weird things that could be happening there
Yeah,
behind the scenes
yeah,
that could look bad for the team,
totally.
right? So, whereas this is a bad signing, I don't know because I don't know how, um, I don't know the extent of it. Like, I don't
Right.
know enough details. Was it just like a friendly
It just says
bet?
no. It just says betting.
Was
Bet.
it,
No,
yeah,
no.
there's not enough
It's
information,
yeah, but
right?
it's using a website to bet. The
Yeah,
NDA just clearly states you're not allowed to use anything to bet on any team.
yeah,
So therefore, if you're betting on your team, which betting on your team is like a
yep,
double X, it's not a
yeah.
good one. So, but that being said, I have no issues. I think the CFL is a second chance league. So you have Chad Kelly's, you have Johnny Manziel's, you have these players that are literally looking for a second chance. They obviously can't play in the NFL anymore. Who are we to defer? Who are we to decline? Who are we to not give somebody who could be an exceptional player? Great case, a Darius Bowman. A Darius Bowman. He ran into a little bit of trouble down south. He was in the
Hmm.
NFL. I think he were at least trying out for the NFL. Ran into some trouble. Is either that or else in college, but
Hmm.
he almost had a great opportunity. He had to come up to Canada to play,
Right.
and he flourished, of course, with Michael Riley throwing the ball. He flourished, but Adarius Bowman made himself a great professional career. Now he has bow training down in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hmm.
Used to live in Chappelle area. Great community guy. Everything else. Great story of a second chance. I do not believe that we should be any sort of organization or league to decline the second chance unless it's like, yeah, okay, this guy murdered somebody.
uh,
But
okay, yeah. No, there's levels. There's levels.
yeah, no, and I mean, there's a lot of other things besides that, right? And we
Yeah.
could go into the legal book or whatever, but betting on your team, um, years ago, it's something that happened years ago. We should be able to give this guy a second
Oh,
chance.
so it's not recent.
No, it happened in college.
Oh,
He's a professional now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that makes,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
If this happened like last year or something
oh,
like
way
that,
different.
right?
And
It's
even then, in the NFL, you would get suspended for that.
right.
So there's a lot of worse things that happen. Like
Oh gosh, yeah.
domestic
And
assault is happening in the NFL. All sorts of
like,
stuff, and it happened. DUIs happen in the CFL.
it's, yeah, we've
There's
seen
all
that. We've
sorts of
seen
stuff
that
that
you
happens.
know, players can't necessarily go down to the US or go back to the US because they have some, you know,
Well,
charges pending
or
here
they
in
could get
Canada.
or they could get
Or
deported.
they could
Really.
get deported. So no, that makes a world of difference. I mean,
Hmm.
you, when you're in college, you do a lot of stupid stuff, right? It's not like, I don't want to make excuses, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so if this happened a few years ago and he's shown that he understands the rules and he
Yeah.
understands, you know, what he probably shouldn't be doing, then if it's a good player, go for it, right? That just completely changed it for me. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's give him a second chance. And I mean, nowadays you see it with the NHL too. Like, how many games was that kid suspended for betting? And it wasn't
Uh.
even betting in the same sport.
Well, exactly.
It's-
But yet, let's make Bet365
right.
the sponsor for the side of our whatever, right? Or for any NHL team. Um, yeah, Bet365, I
Yeah.
think, or something like that, was actually on the side of the helmet. So
Yeah, like listen, none of you can bet on anything, but we're
yeah,
gonna be your sponsors. So,
yeah, no,
it's
it
crazy.
that is absolutely ridiculous. And I think what I do find interesting is that pro teams have avoided Vegas for so long, and yet here we are now. All of the pro teams. Conversation for another time. I think that we have a fan forum to open up,
Yeah,
Catherine.
let's do that.
Let's do a holidays fan forum, ladies and gentlemen. This segment is called the Fan Forum, where we usually talk about sports and hot topics surrounding the CFL and the Edmonton Elks and the sports world as a whole. But today, we're going to ask one question, and we need some help from the herd chat. Baby, overscroll. For this one, blow up the herd chat so we can get your opinion on the show. So here we go. We're in the middle of December, which is known as the holiday season for many people around the world. On TV, you'll find a number of Christmas specials and movies. What is the ultimate Christmas movie or a movie that you have to watch every year?
I'm not big on Christmas movies. And you know this. You know this. I think it was last year that we finally sat down and watched the what was it, Santa Clauses? All the Santa Clauses
Yeah, we did.
movies that,
Yeah.
that you forced me to watch them,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is not bad. But I come from a very religious background. I come from Mexico, and Christmas is a completely different beast.
Yeah.
And so we didn't watch a lot of Christmas movies, but I would like to say that if there is one that reminds me that for me is more of a Christmas movie, and I like to watch it right on the cusp, like in the middle of, is The Nightmare Before Christmas, because I absolutely
Yeah.
love Tim Burton, and I love Halloween, and I like Christmas, and that's like a combination of both, and that is the one movie that for me is Christmas, and for me I have to watch every year. So
Yeah.
weird, but I really truly don't know a lot of Christmas movies.
That's not good. We need to watch more Christmas movies. Apparently, that might be a me problem. John Kirby in the herd chat, A Christmas Story. That is a classic, absolute classic with the Scrooge. Um, Ryan Messer, Die Hard.
So what is that? That's the debate. Is Die Hard a Christmas
Is
movie?
Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know. I think so.
I believe it is. In my
I think
opinion, it is.
I mean, people make ornaments out of it. So
Oh, sorry. So A Christmas Story. I was thinking A Christmas Carol. Isn't that A
oh,
Christmas Carol
I
with
have
Scrooge?
no idea. You're asking me, and I don't know
That's right. You
Christmas
don't know
movies.
Christmas movies. What am I thinking? Um, Mine is The Grinch. Oh, The Grinch. The Grinch is a
Yes.
really good Christmas movie. I think that yes, that is a really really good list. Good watch. Sorry, a really really good watch.
Yeah.
Um, the like I think Jim Carrey brought The Grinch to life in that one, and for kids too. Kids can watch it. It's a really really watchable one.
Mhm. Very
Now
true.
I want to watch Cat in the Hat because that was a really good one with Michael Myers as well.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It's not a Christmas movie though.
Can
That's
we
the
can you
thing.
make it a Christmas
You
movie?
can't. Mine would be Christmas Vacation, National
Right.
Lampoons. We're probably gonna watch it this weekend. Maybe a Saturday with some Chinese food or
I'm
something
not a
like
big
that.
fan of Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. But
Yeah, I've heard that before. People really don't like him, and he is a bit of an a-hole in real
yeah.
life. That is a very well-known fact, but
Hmm.
still a classic movie. Jelly of the Month Club. I made that joke at my old employers there when I missed we didn't get a company Christmas bonus. I was like, what the heck? And then they're like, here, do you
Yeah.
want this turkey card here? And I was like, oh, at least
Okay.
it's not the Jelly of the Month Club. Merry Friggin' Christmas, starring Robin Williams and Joel McHale. Classic. 41 games.
What is 41
What
games?
is 41 games?
We're gonna look that up. I was like, just watch. It's not even anywhere close to a Christmas movie, and they just tricked us into watching something.
Yeah,
Mm.
interesting. I like it.
We'll Google it first.
Oh, we'll have to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless
that's
unless Ray and Benny is just a little bit behind on here, but I don't think so.
okay.
Office Christmas party. Nice. I like that John Kirby is blowing up the herd
I
chat
love
tonight
it.
with Christmas movies for Catherine to watch because Catherine does not watch Christmas movies.
What is the
This is great.
Office Christmas? Is that newer? Is that
I
what
think so. Yeah,
is in what's her name? Jennifer Aniston in it?
I think so. It's something
Maybe.
along those lines.
Violent Night. That sounds great.
Yeah, that'd be up your alley. All right.
Whoa.
Uh, Up now, if we scroll way on back, there were a couple of so John Kirby World Junior U20 World Championships. We'll quickly bring that up. We are currently in conversations with our good friends over at Football Alberta. We may be making a media appearance for that one.
Mhm.
Go support Team Canada. Team USA will be there. Team Mexico will be there. They're gonna have a Team Asia. There's gonna
Mhm.
be a couple of regional teams that they pick as well. I want to say there's gonna be eight, maybe between 8 and 10 teams. I don't know the 100% specifics on it,
Right.
but it is going to be down at Commonwealth Stadium. It's going to be a massive event. We
Mm.
definitely hope that we see everybody down there. And of course, it's a junior event, so don't expect tickets to be crazy
Crazy.
expensive at
Mhm.
all. It's going to be, 10 to 20, probably around 20 to 25 bucks a ticket. I
Mhm.
don't see it being $30 a ticket. So, excuse me, we'll definitely keep everybody posted
Mhm.
as time goes on. We'll keep everybody posted on what we're looking at there. But it's going to be absolutely massive. We're also hearing that there's going to be a week long party to go along with it.
Ooh.
So just like the Grey Cup, they're going to have concerts. They're going to have all sorts of stuff. I think they might even be shutting down a street or two to put on a bit of a festival.
That's cool.
So once again, don't have the 100% specifics on it, don't have the details, the fine details, but we do know that a massive party is coming June 20th to 30th, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
June 20 to
Yeah,
30th.
20th to 30th. John Kirby has those deets.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. Better chance of those Arthur Blank Atlanta
Yep.
prices with private
Just
ownership. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, so this is when the boys were talking, Ryan Messer and then Ray and Benny, they were talking about how they have that $5 menu out in Atlanta. I
right.
really wish that we could see something like that. Private ownership makes something like that a lot more obtainable.
Yeah, you know what? That's true.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
massive.
like Ryan says here, they will put it in the contracts with third party foot vendors
Yeah,
that they cannot charge more than what they charge outside of the stadium. So,
beautiful. Yeah,
at least, I mean, there's no markup, but
no.
yeah.
Well, and then potentially we may see it'd be interesting, right? Because we may see something like that, but the stadium would have to sell as well, and there's services attached to the stadium. There's City of Edmonton contracts with Western Food. So Ray, our our co-host, is in Violent Night.
That's
Nice.
cool. That's good to
That's right,
know.
Violent Night. No way.
We'll have to watch it and keep an
No
eye for
way.
Ray. We'll have to keep an eye on for Ray for
Maybe
that.
that's what we're watching right after this.
But yes, I mean that's bringing that back. With the football game tournament and all of the concerts. That's a really good point that John brings up. That there might not be a lot of games in the summer at home. There's a lot of activity.
Well, I we're still gonna get the same amount of home games. In the summer, though,
Yeah.
probably not. We're going to see more than likely a backloaded fall schedule. We're going to
Right.
have a very busy October. Expect to see 2 to 3 games in a row in either October or September. More than likely October, because I know that's ACDC likes coming to Commonwealth Stadium around September 20th. That's their favorite time to come to Commonwealth Stadium, right in the fall. I know it. They do it often and as in
Listen,
every 4 to 5 years.
listen, my friends. I'm gonna tell you a little story of what happened last year. Mister, manifestation over here decided that he was going to manifest ACDC coming into the stadium last year. So he put it in my calendar, in my big calendar that I have that I keep ACDC concert here. And I think it was October of last year and it did not happen. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see, hopefully. Um, Yes, hopefully we see. I don't know. Could we have earlier games too instead of them being moved to like the fall?
Oh, I didn't. No, what do you mean, like deferred games
No,
or?
no, just earlier. Start the season earlier instead.
No, it will
Yeah,
probably start around the same time,
yeah.
July 11th. Yes, okay, so getting back to that one piece there. Sorry, 41 games was the amount suspended for gambling. Thank you.
We're out here thinking that it's a Christmas
I'm like
movie.
41 games, like it's not 25 games, which you would assume for a Christmas movie if
That sounds
for
like a weird Christmas movie. I'm sorry. That sounds like, what's those movies? Saw?
I want to play 41 games. And then John Kirby, biggest Commonwealth Stadium insider. I thought we were big. This guy, or even then, just concert and event insider. ACDC's not touring North America until 2025. John, I'm going to have to get your connections because I've been looking for information and nothing. Suspend Connor McDavid. He's in a gambling commercial. I don't think that's going to happen. Much love for Edmonton star
No, we're
player.
nothing without Connor
Edmonton
McDavid.
is
Well,
nothing
no,
without
that's
Connor
true.
McDavid.
That's not true. That's not true. There's tons of really good players in that, but
Leon Draisaitl, yeah,
at
and
the
then a
same
couple more.
time, it's the hype. It's the
Yeah.
hype. The hype in Edmonton is not the same without Connor McDavid. That being said, I know that we had one question all the way right at the beginning of the episode by Ray and Benny, um, about the Oilers. Talking about the Oilers here really quickly. Is this Oilers roster as is a playoff team? That's cool. I think so. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because we had the exact same team last year and they went to the playoffs.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, we were in a crazy streak. Like, what is it, 8 games? So, anything is possible. They probably just, needed a little bit of chemistry. They made some changes, then they made them back. Now they're playing with the original lineups that they had last year, the 7-11 or whatever, the 11-7, 11-7.
But
So,
they were doing that at the beginning of the year as well.
yeah,
It's interesting, right? I don't think that the playoff team ever left.
no,
It, we
it
were
does.
talking about it on the show earlier this season, right?
Hmm.
I mean, things were very negative at that point. Now going forward, things look a lot more positive for this team.
Hmm.
They were kind of stuck in that fishbowl of the media here in Edmonton loves to eat the Edmonton Oilers alive.
Well, it's just that hype, right? That I was
Yeah,
talking about. The hype that Connor McDavid had, the hype that the entire team had.
yeah,
Like that can get to people's heads a little bit. Maybe they came in a little overconfident. Maybe they just needed to find that chemistry back, and sometimes that's all it takes. But we were a playoff contender last year. There is no reason why they can't be a playoff contender this year as well.
well, like I said, the Edmonton Oilers came in as a playoff contender,
Hmm.
like you just said,
Hmm.
literally, and yeah, the hype was pretty extreme here in Edmonton, but that's on the media. None of that's on the team.
Yeah.
It's a little bit on the media for kind of fishbowling the team, and then of course everybody tunes in, and you see a lot of that negative stuff, all the negative opinions. I'll never agree with putting down people. Like these
Hmm.
are all people at the end of the day. I think that's something that we forget about. The Edmonton Oilers are an organization of people that go to work every day.
Hmm.
Everybody goes to work every day. Everybody just goes and does their job. Sure, you try to do your job the best that you possibly can. That doesn't mean that a player's not trying on the ice or a player doesn't care or whatever.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it's once again it's a media misconception, misperception. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes, and even with the Jay Woodcroft firing, right? That was a massive deal. There was a lot of fans that were really upset to see Woodcroft
Hmm.
go.
Hmm.
Who knows what would have happened had Woodcroft stayed? We have no idea
Well,
at
it's
all.
another, McAdoo situation, right? When the Edmonton Elks got rid of McAdoo, and not saying that Woodcroft was the problem, but you don't know what was happening behind the scenes that could have affected that, right? And you don't know if that was the right decision for the right reasons, or that was just kind of like a scapegoat of sorts, right? With the McAdoo situation, it's a little bit different because there were clear signs that he was not the right person for the job. But
Right,
it's
but that went
that.
back to last year with Jay
Hmm.
Woodcroft's. He proved that he was the right person for the job. It's just that things just weren't clicking the way that they should have. And
Well,
looking
but
at it,
but my point is that as soon as he left, the team got better,
yeah.
right? And that's kind of my.
But that's also like it's like pulling the goalie, and I
Yeah.
think that's what you're going for, right? It's that
Yeah.
you shock the system, and then
Yeah.
people wake up, and even then, right? Things kind of things didn't instantly snap and away you go. However, the Edmonton Oilers right now are on an 8-game win streak, going for a franchise tying 9th.
Hmm.
That's crazy. So props to the Edmonton Oilers for doing it.
We're doing it.
They're doing it.
They're doing it. I'm excited.
John Kirby in the herd chat. I have no connections. ACDC is touring overseas first. So thanks,
That's
man.
fair.
I'm gonna look that up ASAP because like I need to see ACDC sooner than later. This is just getting ridiculous. I miss going to ACDC concerts. I've only ever been to 2 in my in the last 10 years, but I'd like a third. So we could get look at John Kirby. We could get Bill Belichick. He's going to be fired after the season, so bring him on as the Elks coach. The CFL operations cap is going
Yeah.
to hamstring
Yeah.
us on that one, my friend.
Uh,
Ryan Messer, Wings will make the playoffs again for the first time since Scouts Leafs relieved us from Babcock in 2017. Yeah, yeah, maybe. The Detroit Red Wings look superlative right now. The Leafs, they're kind of middle of the pack, middle of the road.
they started strong and
They
then
started
meh.
strong and then bigger news though, we have an Edmonton
Mhm.
sports update. Today's Edmonton Sports Update is brought to you by Herties. Herties would like to wish everyone a safe and happy holidays, full of smoked meats and new barbecues. Herties, we smoke the meats. The Edmonton Oilers are looking to tie a franchise record with 9 straight wins, with a game against Tampa Bay on Thursday. The Oil wraps up the homestand at Rogers Place with a game against the Florida Panthers on Saturday. And the Spruce Grove Saints finish out their pre-Christmas schedule with a 3-game road trip. The first game being in Sherwood Park against the Crusaders on Saturday. And the Crusaders play their final pre-Christmas game on Sunday afternoon, hosting the Drayton Valley Thunder. Ugly Christmas sweaters and a post skate are the scheduled festivities. And the Edmonton Oil Kings play Friday hosting Swift Current and Sunday hosting the Connor Bedard Les Regina Pats. That will be the last time the Oil Kings are on home ice until January 11th. And the Real Canadian Wrestling finish off their 20th year of operation. 20 years in business. Good for you, RCW. They finished up their 20th year of operations with Holiday Havoc on Friday. And Edmonton Elks fans will be rounding up the herd at Commonwealth Stadium for a soft tailgate. Find some great fans and fun in Lot A on December 17th between 3 and 5 p.m. Mountain. We're the Elks herd, and you're up to date. Dang, RCW, good for them. Do you realize how hard it is to be a wrestling federation and to stay alive?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I really truly had not heard of them.
Well, so our good friend Spencer Love over at the Sherwood Park Crusaders, shout out to Len for giving you this Edmonton Sports Update. Len, probably one of the biggest additions to Shotgun Sports. Big shout out to Len. We really appreciate you for making sure that our viewers and our listeners get a lot more than oil. So that's really cool. We really, really appreciate that. And then yeah, Spencer Love Pro Wrestling in Edmonton, Rec Room South. They do the thing down there once a month, Rec Room South.
Mm,
It's a great show. It's a great time. We hear the stories. We see the following growing like crazy. Their media is great over there, and Spencer's a heck of a promoter. So
yeah, and John here with the insight here information.
yeah,
Truly appreciated. On January 21st, wrestling will take over the Edmonton Oil Kings pregame and intermissions featuring Edmonton's Love Pro
exactly.
Wrestling.
So like the oil rumble, I
Yeah,
want to say,
that's
not the
pretty
royal
cool.
rumble, but the
Yeah,
oil
I like
rumble.
we should go. We should go to that one. That'd be really
Oh,
cool.
you bring the boys. Yeah.
Yes, they would love that.
Shout out to Ray and Benny for the shout out to the Get Lit sweater. We appreciate you. We appreciate it. And then yeah, Macedon offense.
Of
That is
course.
indeed the Macedon offense that we don't have to see anymore. 2024, the future is bright. Trey Ford gets a real off season at starter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be wild.
That is.
Do we have any word on Jake?
No.
Nothing, eh?
No.
Well, we hope whatever's going on with Jake Taylor, we hope that he's doing well. That's for darn sure, because yeah, poor guy. So moving right along, our affiliates.
Mhm.
Royal Retros code Stampede 10% off for Royal Retros. Yeah, the link is in the description. Go get yourself an awesome throwback. Code Stampede, royalretros.com. Starting 2024, we're going to have some new codes, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be in season 2 of the Elks Call. And then Fanatics, we've actually teamed up with Fanatics. I believe we have the link in the description. Head on over to Fanatics to go get some of that fine sports gear for all of your favorite NFL, NHL, MLB teams. They have it all. And
Mhm.
NFL is a big one. It
Mhm.
is NFL season.
Yeah.
Boxing Day sales are gonna happen.
Mhm.
So that's huge. Things Engraved, the official merchandise supplier of Shotgun Sports and the Elks Herd, hoping for Boxing Day sales over there as well. Tis the season.
'Tis the
Everybody's done their
season.
Christmas shopping. We can't convince you to do your Christmas shopping anymore.
Mm,
And then lather. Lather. I'm getting sweaty. I'm gonna need a shower, and I'm gonna be using lather. I'm gonna be heading over to Lather using code Shotgun Sports 15 to get some of that Canadian soap. LATHR.
yeah. Well, yeah. No, thank you. And I mean, this is where we would usually have, our guest interview, but unfortunately, we're sans guest. So if you guys have any questions, this is the time. I mean, we do have a question here from John, which is great.
Awesome
What
question.
new merchandise do you want to see the Elks come out with in 2024?
That is a killer question. What new merchandise? So I think that the hats could be better. However, I did also go down and I saw that Christine has some amazing hats down there.
Hmm.
So black hats with a pink little Elks logo, fitted
Oh,
baseball
that's
caps.
cute.
So they got some of that. They got some toques. But to be honest, I am a traditional guy. I like that turf tradition. So John, I want to see a new line of turf traditions. I'd actually like to see like a throwback retro lineup. And even then, next year is the 75th anniversary
Right,
of
that's
the
gonna
Edmonton
be
Elks. There will be, I can't say what there will be, but I
there's gonna
can
be.
say there will more than likely be a jersey. Elk antlers. Ryan Messer wants to see elk antlers. I
You
love
know
that.
what? Yeah. Well, I was gonna get. I was gonna say it's not really with the elk antlers. I don't know why it reminded me of that, but just like more like home. I don't want to say home decor either because there can be some really tacky home decor, but
Right.
like little weird things that you don't see around. Like I remember the Turf District when we were in the tailgate, they had a napkin holder
Right.
with the double E logo,
Okay.
right?
Did they
So
really?
yeah, so things like little weird things like that, that you may just want to have
A
around, and
double
that
E napkin holder. That sounds amazing.
I
I,
know
I I would buy that.
exactly.
What about those Spike? Was it Spike or Punter plushies
Oh,
you were
I'm gonna
asking
go.
about?
I'm gonna go and see if they still have them available because they're absolutely cute. I mean, I love Punter. I do think he looks a little bit like a big potato,
He's not a
but
potato. He's not a potato. Our boy Sinjin Sperling. We were just talking about Sinjin earlier on the episode with Cleats of Strength, Momentum Customs. Head over, go find them. Instagram, Facebook. Uh, More vintage gear. What are your predictions for the 2024 out season? That's a question. That's one heck of a
that's a
question.
loaded
That's a
question.
loaded question. That is a loaded
That
potato.
uh, that is a loaded potato.
Not punter.
I think there's gonna be more home wins.
That is a very bold
I
prediction.
I
I don't know.
think.
We've said that a couple times over the years.
uh, yeah, I don't. I seriously don't know what to expect. I have zero clue what to expect. Especially right now, I'm very. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous with some of the free agents that we have and
Yeah.
not knowing how that's gonna go. Right. So, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this very, very safe. I'm gonna say that we have a 9-9 season.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say a 9-9 season. Now the reason for this is Saskatchewan. I like this. We did this on the Turf District. We're gonna have the Turf District on in
Mm-hmm.
2024. Stay tuned. It'll happen. Like obviously we can't hard confirm it, but we are gonna
We'll
talk
force
to the
them.
we can't do that either, but we will talk to them. They're good friends, so uh, get them on the show for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we did this on their show, and we talked about the predictors. Chad Kelly was my prediction. I saw him potentially being MOP, which
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I thought he was gonna pull
That
something like Nathan Rourke was doing and working really hard in the off season, taking the keys and driving with it.
I guess that age well.
Well,
Okay.
not yeah, well, yeah, except no cup.
But
But Trey Ford now has that opportunity.
mhm.
Taylor Cornelius did that. However, Taylor Cornelius was in a really freaking bad system.
Right.
Let's be real. Let's just be real with it. The season's over. There's going to be free agents. Things are going to really change until our next preseason game, really, and then our next home game, early June. A lot of time between then and now. We're talking 6 months. We're talking 5 to 6
Mhm.
months. Training camp 4.5 months away.
Right. Yeah, and that's gonna be a big one too with training camp.
Four and a half to 5 months. Yeah.
The combine too. That's gonna happen in between there.
Combine.
We're
That's a
gonna
big deal.
see what pops out of there. So I mean, I feel like there's so many what ifs, right? There's so many little parts that we're not sure yet.
There is, but it's also about the building blocks. Once again, we have to look at it. Do we have a lot more than a Dylan Mitchell, a Christian Salisbury? Shout out to Christian Salisbury. His birthday was just the other
Yeah.
day. 26 for 26.
Mm-hmm.
Go find Supermom of Three Twitter X Supermom of Three. Donate $26 to Christian Salisbury's fund, the memorial fund. His and I. It's a lot more than that now. Now it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole foundation.
Yes.
So Supermom of Three, Melissa Salisbury, amazing woman, still going through the motions and fighting through it and doing something amazing
Mm-hmm.
for her community once again.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out. Obviously, we've lost Christian Salisbury, but his name lives on with the foundation and his family, and his legacy is now going back into the kids. So big, massive thing. And that fund is actually created for kids that don't have, like, no, I say kids, but college
Yes.
athletes as well, that don't have the opportunity or have the funds to go play pro football,
Mm-hmm.
but they can go get that opportunity just like Christian Salisbury did. He found the Edmonton Elks. Chris Jones found him, really.
Yes.
And since then, it's been a beautiful relationship.
I love the tweet that she posted, and it was a tweet from Christian that showed that his mom decided to become his agent, and she
Yeah.
went ahead and she became his agent, and it was just success after that. So that was really nice.
Oh, totally. John in the chat here, actually. Do you think we'll see t shirts with Trey Ford on them? Speaking of people that run fast, right?
No, listen, we're just gonna make it. We're gonna make
We're
them
we're
ourselves. So
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
make
we're,
some
we're
for
gonna
sure.
do the on on Trey we
Yeah.
trust or
Oh,
what was
there's tons.
it?
There's a fair amount of ideas we have for the Trey Ford shirts. Going to be amazing though. Super excited about it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. I'm gonna say
The only prediction I'm gonna do, and that's just because I want to, is that we're gonna win every single game against Calgary.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That's beautiful. That's poetic.
That's
Poetic.
poetic.
No, we gotta win those games against Calgary. That's the rivalry. Labor Day for the favorite games. I don't even think I mentioned what my
Right?
actual
You
favorite game
didn't.
was.
No.
The My favorite game was the Labor Day rematch.
Mm-hmm.
It was pure excitement. It was just an amazing game. Dean Faithful, last second,
Oh, was
kicks
that
it.
the
That was the Queen Wave. He Queen
right?
waved him off, celebrated all night. It was the second win in a row for Edmonton Elks fans. And it's really nice too because we also discovered a new winning tradition for us after a win. You go out to the truck and you have a celebratory beer with your fellow or
Fellow
beverage. Sorry, I was
tailgaters.
supposed to call it a beverage.
We're
Beer.
alive. Come on.
Yeah, the beer. So go out, leave the gates, you go out to your vehicle. Depending on who's driving, you have a beer and then
Mhm.
you drive away. And it's really, really cool to have a new winning tradition. Like it was
Mhm.
weird. We're like, oh, 2 wins in a row. Look at us.
And we felt invisible, invincible.
Well, and after 4 years of not having 2 wins in a row, we
Yeah,
did
that was
two,
great.
especially 2 home wins. 2 home wins, right? We
Mhm.
we lost we lost the Labor Day game, but it was
Yeah.
2 home wins in a row. You go home 2 games in a row,
Right.
and you get to win 2 games in a row. We didn't know what that was like for 4 years,
Mhm.
let alone the one.
Mhm.
So you got the one, and it was like, oh my god, like I cried. I could people crying. Why? Because it was amazing. You just what you paid. The thing that some people don't think about, while everybody is, I'm gonna swear, it's our season finale. While everybody's shitting on all the fans that are sitting there, game in, game out. This team is a dump. All of the names, all of the lambasting, players getting talked to down to the
Mhm.
lowest, like trash, all of it. Nobody ever thinks about the season ticket holders that buy the season tickets year in, year out, faithfully, not caring about that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't buy season tickets because we just want to sit there, we want to have a status or any other reason other than to go take in the full game day experience, watch the football game. And every morning when you wake up on game day, you say, yeah, I really hope the Elks win. I really pray the Elks win. And I mean, it gets aggressive at times with, yeah, I really freaking hope these guys win or all these guys better win. You get angry and you're like, they better win today. They better win.
Yeah.
And it got to be like that at the end of the 22 game
Mhm.
losing streak. You just you were so sick of losing and you felt like you were going to Commonwealth Stadium to watch a loss. I
Right.
think that was the most frustrating part of it. Was like I got to go watch them lose. And
Yes.
if I'm feeling like that, I could only imagine how the players are feeling. So,
Mhm.
it was a really tough year. It was really beautiful though to see us come out of the 22 game
Yeah.
losing streak at home. It was just
I agree.
unreal.
Same
John
here.
Kirby, her chat. What do you think of the Elks ornaments that came out? Uh, clear bags. So clear bags aren't going to go away.
No. Now with private ownership,
No,
because that is no longer the city.
no, but the stadium is. The stadium's the
Ah,
city. The stadium is what has the rules. So,
that sucks.
so
But
yeah.
yeah, that's not
Unfortunately,
that's
John, I
not gonna
do
go
not
away.
do not think those will go
Yeah.
away.
The
The
ornaments are really cute though.
They are. They are. We cashed in last year on the
One of the
20
ornaments. Yeah.
well, the 2022
Yep.
or 2020, yeah, two edition. This year's 23.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go check them out.
I just want the season ticket holder card back, plus the addition of programs and collectors cups. So collectors cups, it's kind of cheesy. They have a little bit in the team store, but it's all mostly in 7-Elevens. Really, that's your collector cup every year is the 7.
Hey, it's cheap.
But that does beg a question.
Yeah.
Look at what the Edmonton Oilers are doing. Very, very successful over there at
Right.
Rogers
I
Place.
mean, for the amount of money that you have to pay for those season tickets, oof,
Yeah.
yeah, they better.
Well, I don't know the pricing on it, but what I can tell you
Yeah.
is that the Collectors Cup thing, very successful. They sell a lot of those
Right.
Collectors Cups. Obviously, I have no idea about numbers or anything,
Yeah.
but I see them floating around people's
Yeah.
houses.
Very
And if
true.
you go to enough houses in Edmonton, you start to play the numbers game like, oh, what are the odds that this person has a Collector's Cup from Rogers Place? Well, I've seen it a lot. And I've also seen it in Value Village as well. I see those Collector's Cups.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do wish that we had more of a collector's system for Edmonton Elks fans. Also, with the season ticket holder cards, yeah, I know. It's those packages that we got for being a season ticket holder was absolutely unreal. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I miss having the lanyard. I miss feeling special. It was great. You got a sticker, you got a schedule, you got a pocket
Yeah.
schedule, you got the schedule in the box, you got your perks. Even back in the day when they did the booklet was an amazing system.
You know what I just found out, because I mean, when I was doing a lot of the trivia Thursday, I would go to the library and I would do a lot of research and read on the team and find some
Yeah.
of the old game guides and all of the. Um, they still have them. If you go to the website and if you click around, those same guides, like the team guides and everything that you have for the entire season and for game, they have them. It's just on a PDF.
What, like the
So
newspaper?
no, like when you have all of the details of all of the players and the
Oh,
team and like maybe it's not a game guide,
are
but
you, are
it
you
was
talking
like the
about
whole year, like the
the
year
but is it, oh, okay.
media guide. I
Media
think,
guide.
yeah, the
Interesting.
media guide
Okay.
that they
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that.
that I would see them all the time at the library back when they used to print them out and give them
Yeah.
out. But yeah, you can find those and
Hmm.
it's on the website, but it's a PDF that you can download. But that's
Interesting.
kind of sad because a lot of people prefer having. I mean, even here you see all the things that you have, all the collector's
Right.
pieces, right? That or even memorabilia or just something that just creates an emotional attachment to something.
Well,
And
part of it though is that they used to do the Edmonton Sun used to do a game day newspaper,
Mhm,
and that's what they handed out as the game guide
mhm.
at Commonwealth Stadium.
Okay.
So they quit that program like as soon as COVID came in, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
Around
sad.
2019, maybe 2018, it could have been in there. Ryan Messer, clear bags, yes. So in the States, that's another big thing. Commonwealth Stadium is a world class venue. I know that people in Edmonton sometimes forget this. And I don't mean anybody in the herd chat in particular or anything like that. I just mean all of us here in Edmonton, myself included. Put myself in this list because sometimes I forget, home of the Edmonton Elks, yeah, Commonwealth. I love the building from row 80 to row 1. Love the building. Zero issues with Commonwealth Stadium. Don't want to see it torn down. But it is also still a world class venue and it's ranked number 3 on FIFA rankings as far as stadiums.
Hmm.
It is. I want to say number 3. I could be wrong.
Oh my goodness,
But as far as
totally blew that one then.
it's
But
between the Alberta
yeah.
government. The Alberta
Yes.
government.
Yes.
So, because it's a world class venue, because it's an international venue that is on the world stage, is on the world map, it still has to go through the highest of international standards.
Mhm.
Ryan Messer said clear bags are standard even in the States. All of their, if most, if not all, like we're talking
Yeah.
80 to 90% of the NFL stadiums in the States
Yeah.
have
To
a
be
clear bag
honest,
policy.
I don't think that the clear bag is the issue.
It's
It's
the
the size.
size. It's the
It's the
size.
size. So if you allow full size backpacks that are clear that they sell because
Hmm.
it's in the States, it's a standard, as Ryan said. But if you just increase the size, I can guarantee that a lot of the issues that people have will go away. I mean, obviously, you will still have those that don't want people to see certain things, medication or whatever they may have that is personal, sure, that they don't want to see. But the size that we have, it's tiny, right? You can barely fit anything, especially because they got to remember that we also have fall games. Um, where when it's cold, and you
Yeah.
definitely want to bring around a lot more than just what you can carry in your hands.
Yeah.
And you know,
Oh, totally.
but
Yeah, 12 by 12 max. Plus, I even have a new one that's smaller.
yeah,
So yeah, so that 12 by 12,
that's not
12,
very
12
big.
inches is nothing.
Yeah, that's not very big.
There's a joke about inches in here somewhere. So 12 inches would be a foot then, would it not?
That's what she said.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. Good job. That's good. 12 inches, that's a foot, is it not?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
so 12 inches a foot, so a foot by a foot.
Yeah, that's not very.
It's
That's
not
not
very
very big.
big.
It's the size of a ruler.
And that's about what the size is that the Edmonton Elks is selling.
Yeah,
And like it's been such a big problem over the years, but the biggest problem with Commonwealth Stadium and the Edmonton Elks and the clear bag is the fact that everything happened all at once for this team.
yeah,
See, if the team was winning, people would be like, I guess I'll throw the diaper bag away for like, no, you probably wouldn't throw the diaper bag, but maybe you would throw a backpack or something.
yeah.
Maybe I'll toss the backpack. Maybe I'll risk it going missing out here. I'll throw it in the planter, pray that when I come back it's here, because security's right there the whole time anyways. Let's be real.
Well, they have bag checks now.
Yeah, but even then those fill up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure, right? The bag check, make some money off of it.
Yeah.
That's what that was my idea back in the day was
Yeah.
make some more money off of the bag check.
Yeah.
Not every CFL stadium does clear bags. Within 10 years, I would say they will be.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's going to be the standard now. That's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, John here said that rumor has it that Rogers Place might be doing the clear backs as
No,
well.
I
We
no
we have
idea.
no clear indication of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Yeah.
Just because, it's uh, once again that standard. It's just becoming a standard with public events and public venues. In many ways, it makes sense. In many ways, it's a lot safer. Um, the size is the only thing that I have an issue with.
Well, in Rogers Place as well, once again, it's a world class venue. It is. There's
Is it?
people in Finland that wish that they could go to an Oilers game
I
in Rogers
guess.
Place.
Yeah,
That
very
like that's
true.
what I'm thinking of is there
Very
people
true.
internationally that would want to go there, or is there events internationally that
Yeah.
would want to go there? World Juniors hosted twice.
Right.
So, and that's just World Juniors. Cirque du Soleil comes every year, which is
Mhm.
the biggest touring circus
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
From Paris, I believe, from France, right? And Cirque du Soleil came from
It
France.
should be somewhere. I mean,
Somewhere
that's
in there.
French.
Somewhere in there. I don't. I'm focused
Somewhere
on
in
CFL football, Canadian football.
there.
But you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
We're talking about major venues that are shining stars in the West and on planet Earth.
Mhm.
So, would I be surprised to see that go to Rogers Place? No, I wouldn't be surprised. Do I think it needs to happen? Well, I think that there should be a standardized security check for every major venue in Edmonton, because that was one of the biggest issues was with the Heritage Classic clear bag policy, but over at Rogers they do the metal detector, the scanner.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that'd be a big upgrade for Commonwealth, though. I mean, we saw it
yeah,
at the Heritage Classic, how bad that went
yeah,
when they tried to introduce, greater security to the lineups. They would really have to think about that and how that's going to be implemented, and it would be an upgrade and a lot of money.
yeah.
But
Well, and even then, right?
mhm.
Any of the issues with trying to get in at Heritage Classic had nothing to do with the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton
Yeah.
Oilers,
Yeah.
did their best with the event, and I think they did a fantastic job.
Mhm.
But when it came to the security part of it, that was on the NHL trying to
Yeah,
work with the city's regulations,
definitely.
and it just whatever. It
Mhm.
wasn't the greatest process. We made it in for O Canada. Like
Mhm.
I was at the seats for O Canada, so I was happy with how things worked. But um, I like John's idea up here about T-Mobile in Vegas. If we scroll up a little, so T-Mobile in Vegas, they have
Sorry.
lockers outside in their little promenade. $20 for a small bag, close to 30 for a large bag, and put it in the lockers. I think I speak for everybody. You would much rather surprise pay $30 to put your bag in a locker as opposed to lose $200 or to $500 or $1,000 in purse because you can't get in, or $300 in ticket, $200 in ticket, you get it.
I don't know if I would pay $30 for a locker. That's a lot.
Okay, so T-Mobile, you and I have tickets to go to a game. They
Yeah.
tell you can't bring the bag in. Am I going in without you?
Well, no, at that point I'm forced to.
So there you go. You have to. That's the congratulations. We solved it.
Yeah, but it's so high. I would be mad about that.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Look at
That's a very high
Toronto.
price for a locker.
When you and I went to Toronto, we were scrambling to look for a locker. Lockers
It
and
still wouldn't have been $30, but
no, but also you go there, you drop it off earlier in the day, you go do your shopping, and then you go to the game, and then you come out. You don't have to carry the bag with you all day.
no, for
So it's also
sure.
about how
But
you use it
yeah,
too.
for sure. But I mean, also, I mean, and that's just personally me because I am okay
Totally.
bringing a small purse to a location because I don't need to carry half my house.
You also have clear bags and stuff too.
No,
Like
for
you're very
sure.
prepared
But
for this scenario.
I'm more thinking about like bigger families with babies and diaper bags and all of that,
I'm
right?
not throwing out the diaper
That's
bag still.
no, but you would want that with you. That's
Yeah,
the problem, right? If you have a baby, if you're going to an event and you have a baby
sure,
and that baby needs diapers,
but
you're not,
then you can't get
you would,
in.
okay, well,
But that's the same deal with Commonwealth Stadium. We're currently dealing with this. This is why you and I made a petition. So people like
mhm,
the diabetics that have the issue with the
yeah.
needles and their gear getting it in. Like we picked every piece of meat off of that bone, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, all roads still point to you need a clear bag.
Yeah.
And just like Ryan Messer said here in the herd chat, my wife
Yeah.
just uses her clear bag as her purse as many events as we attend, and that's
I do as well because
yeah,
it's easier. In any event that you go attend, it's easier to go through security just showing the
nice.
clear bag and just walk through, right? So it's yeah, no, but I don't think we're ever gonna win that argument. I don't think it's just adapt and overcome, adapt
Yep.
and overcome.
John Kirby gone. Wow, John Kirby up here. I use the small bag that they make you buy for $1 at the Oilers team store. I use that as my bag at Rogers Place.
Yeah,
That works, man. Like,
yeah.
hey, I use the small bag that they make you buy for $1. I love it, John. And then yeah, Rogers Place makes exceptions for backpacks. That's good to know. I actually didn't know that.
Mm,
So thank you. You learned me up a little bit here, John. That's really good knowledge.
yeah.
Yeah, now we know. Ladies and gentlemen, season one. Season one is in the books. This was a massive episode tonight. Obviously, we apologize. We were supposed to have a guest tonight. We got to edit all of our titles and everything. We really wanted to have Jake on. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So I'm sure that we're going to reschedule with him in the future. He's going to be sticking around him. He's got to be sticking around Edmonton.
Yeah.
So we'll get at Jake Taylor. Season 2 of the Elks Call. No, we're getting there, babe. We're getting there. Season 2 of the Elks Call is going to be January 10th. So do stay tuned. We will have a holiday special on December 27th. Maybe we'll do a giveaway anyways. We're not going to be giving away the jersey because we're saving that one for 500 subscribers. Shotgun Sports Network Limited. Hit us up over at YouTube. Shotgun Sports Network Ltd. Give us a subscribe, please. Give us a like, a follow, all of that stuff, guys. This was an amazing season. Many episodes down. It's going to be a way longer season next year.
Mhm.
We're already excited about it. It's a little bit bittersweet. We got a lot of upgrades to do here. Our interface is going to change a little bit. Our show might change a little bit. Maybe we're going to get an extra piece of merch or two for the background here. But it's very exciting times. We didn't even think that we would even create a podcast when we started the Elks Herd. Here we are. The Elks Call is finishing its first season. So a massive thanks to the tens, to the hundreds, to the thousands of viewers and listeners, the many channels, YouTube, listening on TuneIn, listening on Edmonton Sports Talk, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Massive thanks to you guys, the viewers. Um, Off the top of my head, Sinjin's in there, John Kirby, our boy Ryan Messer over at Shotgun Sports USA, and the Stallion Stampede.
Mhm.
Um,
Ray and Benny.
Ray and Benny, all up in the chat, in the herd chat.
Thank you.
Jamin's been in this herd chat. My mom has been in this herd chat.
Steve Benassi.
Steve Benassi, Candor 27. Who
Yeah.
else we got? We got a lot of gems. So, yeah, you guys, awesome. You make our podcast episode, and I mean, I don't really see how we make it to an hour and a half without a guest. If our guests, our viewers, our watchers on, and everybody in the herd chat, yeah, that's how we get it to an hour and a half. It's you guys. So
Thank you.
thank you. Um, December 27th, holiday special. We're going to have Christmas lights in here. It's going to be good. We'll give something away. Please show us what you got for Christmas. That's kind of what we're doing is a
Yeah.
massive Christmas show and tell. Like, tell us about what you got. If you got any EE gear, we'll do a little giveaway.
Yeah.
Show
Let's
off a
do that.
little bit of what we may have gotten if it's EE or related.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
other than that, we'll have a big guest for January 10th, season 2 of the Elks Call. But for today, we are going to call it a wrap. John Kirby, have a good Christmas as well. Um, we hope we get lots of elk stuff too. We hope you get lots of elk stuff. You know that we're planning the tailgate menu already. It involves smoked meat. That's the biggest hint that we can give you right now. But stay tuned for that. We're going to say probably March.
Hmm.
So spring break area, we will have the tailgate menu up for Herdies. We smoke the meats. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we cannot thank you enough for joining the herd for season 1 of the Elks Call. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Steven Elks.
Once again, we are the Elks herd. This was season 1 of the Elks Call. We're going to see everybody on December 27th for the holiday special. This was the herd signing off, everybody.
Have a good night.
Cheers.